All right, this should be ultra low latency. There we go. That should work. Cool. I think I fixed that. Okay, nice. I think there should be no lag now. Dope. Okay, should be no lag now. I had to restart that. My apologies, everyone. Everyone was on the last one. They just got booted out, but there shouldn't be any latency now. Sorry about that. Okay. If all works well now, it should be like no latency on the stream and what I'm saying, or like minimal latency. I've never done YouTube before, so you got to bear with me, guys. I'm like really bad at technology. If you ask anyone in my Discord, it's hard enough for me to do Discord, honestly, yet alone YouTube. But I will get better at this because I think this is cool. I want to do like one of these maybe every single week, because I know everyone can't be in the Discord, obviously. So yeah, it'd be cool to do one of these a week on YouTube. All right, cool. I know a lot of people from my Discord are probably gonna be here too, but don't make fun of me too much, guys, if I don't know how to work the YouTube thing. Okay, let's take a look at the market today. All right, that's probably a good idea. So what I'm looking at today is lower prices on the NASDAQ, and specifically, I'm looking for NASDAQ to trade into this unmitigated SMT level. So you can see how it's actually probably easier seen on a 4-hour chart. You can see how after yesterday's reversal, we saw YM stay quite high in its range, right? So we had this strength switch yesterday. We traded this on the S&P lower yesterday. These black lines are the previous day low and the range low, okay, guys, for context? Now, what I want you to pay attention to is that after we reversed yesterday on the YM, right, NASDAQ gave us this largest imbalance in here. It also has yet to break this SMT, okay? So if we zoom out in a higher time frame, do you see how this area of price right here, these lows, that's coincidentally actually these lows on NASDAQ. And you have a very similar argument for the S&P, okay? So this low here, this low here, and this low here are all the same low. And you can see NASDAQ is the only asset that has failed to take out that low at the moment, okay? And you're seeing a resynchronization of strength into this once leading asset, right, to the upside, is now the weakest to the downside as well, right? Because we've already broken this SMT on the other two assets. Yesterday, the best short was ES for that reason with this low resistance liquidity signature. Now again, there's a high resistance signature in here. Right, this is a relatively high resistance signature. So that's why I'm looking for NASDAQ shorts today. Simple as that, okay? I've explained a bit about this in terms of some strength switching and asset sync stuff, so that's kind of the logic. Is this live going to be saved here on YouTube? Yeah, it should be. I don't know how that works, but it should be, yep. Yeah. Once I'm done here, I'll hop in Lathyrus with Jay and we'll go on stream there. I just want to do one of these streams, maybe every week or 2 weeks, so people can kind of get an experience for what it's like to be on like a stream kind of in the community, because I know everyone can't be there, right? So I think it's like a nice compromise. How the two-stage SMTs formed? We'll talk about that today, right? When we eventually enter our trade, we'll specifically look at 2 stages, because that's going to be a requirement for us to trade. Yep. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to share this link with my Discord as well, just to make sure they have access to it if they want to watch the YouTube stream. Just give me a second. I'll be trying to answer questions like throughout the stream as well. If you have any questions, you can just put them in the chat. So what am I looking for on the open then with this logic in mind, right? So I'm looking to see if I can get a continuation on NASDAQ lower. And in order to frame that kind of logic, right, what I want to do is I want to see if YM can manipulate this high. You can see the close proximity we are to buy-side liquidity. Realistically, these highs up here are quite interesting for me if we see a manipulation higher. Okay. So this could be a trigger for manipulation, which I've talked about a little bit about, right? Manipulation triggers. This could be one of them here at the previous day high. And I want to see NASDAQ stay in respect of this imbalance, right? This is obviously the key level. So if we're going to trade lower, it's going to be something like a New York Judas swing. So you can see we have a small range in this overnight. This is just a 4-hour chart for context. We have a small overnight range in here. You can see YM has created a swing and has traded away from that swing. It's expanding away from that swing. But what's interesting, the reason why I'm bearish on NASDAQ is if you guys pay attention to this chart, there's a lot more information than you might, see, just at first glance. We have equal lows here or relative equal lows here. Okay, so this is actually an SMT, but it's relative equal lows. Now this is the SMT in which YM is expanding from, of course, like this. Okay. But these relative equal lows are actually a failure swing on NASDAQ, right? And on the S&P to these higher time frame liquidity pools. Okay, so this in here is not a strong reversal, right? Given the context of daily bearish price action. So therefore, right, when I see a manipulation, I know that this is a very good draw on liquidity for something like a double purge of this range. If you zoom in here, you're gonna see it's a very tight range, and offering a shallow raid of one side of the range potentially could give us a double purge opportunity, right? Sell side, buy side, sell side as a high resistance liquidity run condition. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for the open today. I don't know if there's any news. Let me check the economic calendar. We have meeting minutes, irrelevant to me. The minutes themselves aren't a major driver. So FOMC is, but FOMC minutes I do not consider to be a major driver, guys. Let's see the questions. Hey, I'm a huge fan and student. I often have direction correct, but I always seem to get chopped up. Yeah, it can be difficult to find entries, right, that support your logic and narrative. That's an important part of any trading system, is making sure that you can refine your narrative to a structured entry with a good stop loss, right? That's appropriate stop loss as well, not just any stop loss. That's why we use things like two-stage cracks and correlation, and we use the idea of swing point formations to get involved with our trades. Do you have a free trial for my Discord? I don't have a free trial for my Discord, but there's lots of free stuff on the internet. I do YouTube streams like this. I put out tons on YouTube, tons on Twitter. I try my hardest to not gatekeep behind paywalls. Most stuff, guys, honestly. The only thing that you have to pay for is just to watch me do this every day and for me to teach you, right? That's all Lathyrus is. It's an educational platform. How long is the stream going to be? I'll probably wrap it up around 10:30, 11. Your liquidity imbalance was a game changer. I appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you. I do only trade the indices. Yeah, I don't trade other assets. I'm just focused on the indices for the most part. Some of my students trade things like gold and Forex, other markets. Me personally, I don't. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm waiting for today, right? So I'll wait to see if that materializes for me to take an entry, which would be interesting. Let me know if there's any issues with the stream as well. It's my first time doing this, so if there's any problems, that'd be good to know. I also have my broker loaded up on another screen as well. So I'm tabbing back and if I tab back and forth, you can only. Okay. So it's gonna go to a black screen if I go to my broker. I think that's interesting. I just saw that. I don't know how to keep it so that it only shows you this stream. One second. Let me look at the properties of the stream and see if I can. I'm just trying to see if I toggle to my broker on this second screen, what happens. I'm just looking at the stream to see what happens. Yeah, it goes black, doesn't it? That's interesting. I don't know how to change that. I mean, I don't see a harm in sharing like my broker potentially. I just prefer it to stay on here. Let me try doing this. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move my broker to my main screen, and that should work better. It's kind of chopped, sorry. Okay. That should work a bit better, hopefully. Because on Discord, I don't have that issue, but I guess on live streaming, I do have that issue. Cool. Good to know. Very good to know. All right. I'm about to chart. Yeah, I do trade personal. I trade like prop firm capital and personal capital together. Yep. Indeed. It is OBS, yeah. Maybe it's a privacy reason, yeah. Okay, so coming into the open, I know what I'm looking at. One second, let me grab my dog. Good morning, buddy. Yes, good morning. Yes. The major chunk of my capital is prop firms for sure. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is just, as we approach the open, I'm gonna try to refine this logic a bit. So as you can see, what I'm looking for now here, right, on the open is to see if YM potentially wants to expand. A YM expansion higher would be interesting to me simply because that's that manipulation area of price that I'm interested in seeing. So that's one potential. So there's an option to trade that phase of price. However, I'm more interested in the NASDAQ sell side delivery today. So this is a manipulation on the open, although it could happen, is not favorable for me to trade. But there is an opportunity there, and I'll probably walk through it near the open. The perspective I have on my daily chart is pretty clear, though. I'm looking for this previous day low, right? I want to figure out a way to keep my my trading. I want to figure out a way to keep my trading view showing while I can go to my other screen. Let me give it like 2 minutes trying to figure that out, okay, guys? I know there must be a way. There must be a way. Trading view window. Is that it? Let's see if that works, guys. Let me know if it still goes to a black screen if I switch over to my broker. I think that should work. That could be interesting. Okay, cool. So I'm pretty sure you guys can still see my stream. Yeah, it's just a delay. But I think now you can just see my trading view. It's perfect. I just have another broker window on my, I have a Mac, so I just scroll to the left. But it kept going black screen whenever I would do this. So this works much better. Cool. Awesome. There's some nuances between streaming on Discord and streaming on YouTube. I'm just learning those at the moment. But this is awesome. This works pretty well. Okay. Let's start to refine this logic a bit. So here's our daily open, guys, and you can look at the protraction profile on YM, and you can specifically see that from the daily open, YM creates a 4-hour swing and it's expanding away from that, whereas we are consolidating on the other two assets. Again, a sign of relative strength on this asset. Would this live be a one-time thing? I mean, I want to do these more often actually on YouTube. It'd be cool. I do these pretty much every day in Lathyrus, but I think it'd be cool to do some YouTube stuff. And Jay also is going to do a YouTube stream probably once a week as well. I think it's definitely a cool opportunity to do this in front of some more people on YouTube, and also give people who don't or aren't in that community a chance to kind of see how we do it. Which copy trader do I use? I use the NinjaTrader copier with Apex. Hence why I still use NinjaTrader and not any other platform, because Apex has a NinjaTrader local trader that they have 2 years ago they released it. This live should be recorded. Yeah, I mean, it should stay on YouTube, I believe. I don't think it would not. Right. So again, on the open, I'm expecting some sort of higher prices on this asset, but I really want to look for that manipulation and then to trade this asset lower. Let's go. Are you MXM student? MXM was my first mentor ever, almost 2 years ago, yes. He's a really good friend of mine as well. Do I trade before 9:30 open? Not usually. I use a true day open, and my dog's name is Mango. My Discord refers to him as Market Maker Mango. He's the real deal. Right. Again, I like to see these failure swing signatures if I'm bearish. Right. You can see this market is creating this fairly low resistance liquidity run into the open. None of these lows are protected swings the way I define them. If you've seen my course, you know how I define those protected swings. So this is very interesting price into the open. I'm expecting some sort of manipulation and then reversal. We'll see if that gets validated. Oh, I can give you mod? Let's do it. How do I do that, Jay? Oh, add as a moderator. Boom. Jay is now mod. Yo, is Lathyrus just watching the YouTube stream today, or are you streaming as well? You could just put them on. You could just stream inside Lad and put the YouTube stream on. No, you're streaming? Okay. Good, we got Jay in here helping to answer some questions. Lathyrus is here? Nice. That's dope. So I got some of my community in here as well. Yeah, I think you guys. I think if Jay's like streaming inside Discord, you guys can just throw on the YouTube as well. We got 2 streams going on. Let's go. A very tight range here on Nasdaq. This looks fantastic for shorts. I'm not buying the longs yet. I'm not buying them. This is like me yesterday. I was like, I'm not buying longs yesterday either when market was pumping. I was like, I'm not buying it. We gotta short this. You just joined Lathyrus yesterday? Let's go. Awesome, dude. Welcome. Pleasure to have you there. Yesterday was a great day to join. we walked price. I'm full forwarding your trades, so don't lack, bruh. Don't tell me that. Don't put this stress on me. I don't want it. So we can see into the open, we actually have that formation of a 2-stage crack on the YM. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can show you guys, right? So we have this SMT in here. And this SMT is also a precision swing, right? This is a 2-stage PSP. Okay? So this is a continuation on the YM. I might look to trade towards these highs on the YM as well, actually, if I get a nice entry signature. But I'm going to maintain a bearish perspective on the NASDAQ and simply just look for something like this. You see the proximity to these highs? It's all failure swing. So this is really my draw on YM. Yeah, YM will be the asset that manipulates higher today, surely. Are you doing lives every day? No, not on YouTube, no. But I do go live every single day inside of Lathyrus, yeah. But I will definitely try and do some more YouTube stuff. Where is the iced coffee? I know. I'm trying not to drink coffee first thing in the morning, actually. Trying to, like, wait. Yeah, tons of people from the Discord are here. It's awesome. I think Jay's doing a stream for you guys as well. So, we chillin'. Would a PSP lower be a good reason to trade lower? Right now you can see YM is leading to the upside. Again, I'm looking for bearish price action on NASDAQ. This is my draw on liquidity for NASDAQ. It's previously low. Very similar to yesterday. I'm looking for, I'll walk you through what I see as a manipulation trigger, right, when it forms. Like, so for me right now, the perspective of the market is bearish. So I want to be positioning myself for bearish price action. But I think these highs up here are a good manipulation trigger for the market as well. Wonderful. You and Jay stream in Discord at the same time. We run separate days actually. Jay streams twice a week, and I stream 3 times a week. I also do a stream with my students once a week. So we have a full stream schedule inside of Lathyrus, yeah. I'm gonna figure out how to put some lo-fi music over this next time too. I saw BM do that. I think it's cool. Just so we can listen to something. I think that's a decent idea. You guys like that? You like the idea of music or nah? Is music just like not the vibe? I don't know. You guys tell me what you prefer. Music? Yeah. Nah. Maybe some very slight background noise could be nice, right? I don't do music in like the Discord, so I'm not used to it, but I sometimes have something plugged in. Alexa, play some lo-fi. I can do non-copyright music. Yeah, non-copyright would be sick. We can look into that potentially. All right, guys. Is that the open here, right? I'm not really going to take a positional entry today because my bias is actually conflicted with the narrative of the current price action. I want to trade lower, so I'm going to wait for some manipulation of the highs. I anticipate that we'll see some sort of manipulation of these highs. Right, we have this hourly two-stage into a relevant level, but again, this is all failure swings to me. So again, my analysis, despite these context factors, ignores a lot of this. And this SMT is with a 4-hour low. I'm more so looking to see if I can get a sign of reversal, just like yesterday actually, very similar to yesterday. Whoa, trading view got really slow right there. My trading view just completely bugged out. Okay, well, you guys just witnessed real-time trading view conk itself. What was that? Why is my bias towards sell side? Just the daily closures, right? Higher time frame bias. I walked through it all. Yo, my trading view is completely bugged out, guys. I'm having issues with trading view. You can clearly see that, right? Let me look and see what's going on. It's going to be a little bit difficult to read chat and trade at the same time, guys. So I'll try and answer chat stuff as much as I can. Okay, I don't know what's going on with trading view here. I just got nerfed. Look at this. What just happened? That's never happened, actually. This is strange. Okay, let me quit this. I'm gonna restart my trading view, guys. I don't know what the hell just. Are you guys seeing this? My trading view just completely died. All right, let's try that again. It's kind of Murphy's law. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong, right? That's crazy. Okay. Okay, well, hopefully we recovered from that. I don't know what the hell that was, guys. I actually just got nerfed. Yeah, trading view should be back and going. So you can see on the open, right? We could get this expansion directly on the open with the driver into these highs. That's what I'm anticipating, actually, is that driver to pair that liquidity. But I'm not looking to trade that. Market makers cut the fiber. Real. That was very strange, actually, guys. I don't know what that was. Okay, we seem to be back, though. Yeah, we should be good. They haunt me. Will you also trade a 6 a.m. reversal into expansion lower? Yeah, absolutely. All right, this is just one of those days where I want to see where the open shapes up. Right? I want to see if YM can reach into these highs, potentially. there's a nice 30-minute SMT we're forming in here and an hourly SMT. So you can say, you can see clearly we have this divergence that's forming, right? So now I want to see any reasons for YM to respect this divergence and trade higher potentially. Again, I'm not looking to trade long today, I'm just tracking the order flow, right? It makes sense for me to see YM expand higher. This would be a trade I would be interested in if I got some sort of confluence with that. But again, I gotta really wait and see how this market opens, right? I'm never in too much of a rush when I have decorrelated markets. You'll see exactly what types of confluence I'm looking for. The same thing I look for every day, right guys? Formation of a swing point. A two-stage crack and correlation. A drawn liquidity in line with my daily profile. Protraction profile. Quite interesting to see the strength switch on the open from the leading asset manipulating lower. So when I see a decoupled market like this, you guys know my approach, right? I wait for a asset synchronization, which I've taught you one way in which I look for that, algorithm 1, for a decoupled market to resync, right? Buddy, please tell me why you're not considering that daily SMT of NQ with ES. Please tell. It's not my bias today, brother. Okay. We have SMTs on both sides of the market, you can see. Clearly, we have SMTs on both sides of the market, right? We have SMT here. We have SMT up here. The YM. We're largely range bound. You can see this is a range, right? But I like the idea of trading away from high resistance and into low resistance. Right? Simple as that. Again, I'm not going to enter just randomly a position with that idea. I have to wait for some structure, but all right, so as you can see, we have this strength switch on the open. It's very interesting to me, actually. Again, I like this idea if Nasdaq is going to trade lower. And I'll show you exactly how I would approach trading this once I get some resync. They're looking extremely decoupled, yes. One of these markets is telling you the truth about expansion, and one of these markets is not, right? Simple as that. So it looks like YM might be this trigger at the previous day low. This is why, again, opens typically offer some sort of strength switch. It's why I typically wait for the open, because things can change quite rapidly near the open, right? What we're looking for can change. It can be hard to anticipate decoupled markets, yes, which is why I tell most of my students to participate in the recoupled or resynchronized phase of price. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard just to sit out of moves like this and say you don't want to be involved. You get better at that with time, right? I think most people make the mistake of just not actually having edge when they're backtesting. They don't really know what they're like trading. I think that's probably the biggest mistake of most traders. They don't actually have real edge. It's very hard to fix psychological issues and or backtest sufficiently, right? Like properly, if you don't actually understand what you're backtesting. You don't have edge in the market. That's a common mistake. We tend to blame psychology for just lack of technical. I do backtesting streams like twice a week with my students and Lathyrus, so I posted some of those before. Edge is like alpha in the market. Like you have a expectancy, right? You have a model that gives you a real expectancy. That's what edge is. Once you understand exactly what you're looking for, guys, you become much more patient as a trader. You recognize exactly what your model is, and you tend to deviate less from that. And in doing so, right, and making less deviations, you end up, gaining some consistency in your approach and your model. Most common thing that kills traders is deviations from their model, right? But that happens when you don't understand it fully. Like people see large candles and they want to get involved. That's the issue. Right? As you become more experienced, though, you'll have no problem sitting on your hands if your entry doesn't appear or if your model doesn't appear. You just wait for something very specific in the market every single day. And that's kind of my approach, right? That's how I have success in the market. This is quite interesting, guys. I think that previous day low looks like a very nice trigger for a potential reversal of the indices. Yeah, I'll wait for. I'm actually more bearish in this asset. So, what was your trigger? There's nothing to get me on side on YM yet. There's nothing that my edge hasn't presented itself yet. I think the YM is very likely to take out the previous daily low. The strength switch is gonna be euphoric here. He gets it. Good morning, buddy. Yes. My dog is so tired. It's like early here. It's like I'm on the East Coast or the West Coast, so it's like we wake up at 5 a.m. Why are you screaming, Yassine? Yes. I wait for the leading asset to hit a key level, then react off the engagement. Sometimes I'll trade a decoupled phase of price. Really depends on what I'm seeing that day. What's the meaning of Lathyrus? It's a great question for Simpler community manager. He's the one who thought of the name. I'll let him answer that. How unlucky can one be? I shorted NASDAQ. I don't think there was any confluence to short NASDAQ yet today, to be honest. Well, I feel like every day is a decoupled and resync. It has been very common, yeah. That's why this concept is very powerful. There is a logic to it. The name Lathyrus is badass, TBH. Thank you, bro. What's my market view for today? I'm just waiting for some more clarity on this market. I was quite bearish on this asset, NASDAQ, to reach previous day low. But you can see we have a strength switch near the open. Right, we're flipping the open here pretty hard on YM. I think NASDAQ reaching into the highs is likely to be a trigger after we reach previous day low. I need to see this asset reverse, right? This asset could potentially consolidate into reversal, and then this asset can hold an SMT and then reverse. The middle asset here is quite a middle asset. You can see that. It's just consolidating, right? Yesterday, I traded ES as the lagging asset into the leading asset lower. Yeah, I'm thinking that the trigger for a correlated move is going to be YM reaching the previous day low. I feel like suddenly people are using PSPs and QT stuff. I don't use a lot of like QT stuff. I mean, precision swing points are just swing point formations, which I use, obviously. Because I trade, my model is reliant on swing point formations, right? But yeah, I have to understand the concept I'm using. Yesterday, the stream was epic. Appreciate that, bro. Yeah, yesterday was a good one. It's 340 in South Africa. Yes, sir. What I look for short if YM is previously low. Right now, I'm going to wait for some more clarity, right, on this market. I have my key levels marked out, right? You can see that. I'm looking to see if I can get some sort of alignment for one of these key levels with a high degree of certainty. Yesterday, YM sell is hard. Did you go with Jay? Yeah, YM sell yesterday was hard. I took the ES sells yesterday, which was, I think, a much better trade, given the context of price yesterday. Yeah. You secretly trade gold. I don't. I've taken a swing on gold before though, for sure. Bro, anything for those who can't afford to pay the mentorship fee. Yeah, my YouTube, my Twitter. I have a lot out there, guys. I mean, I've put most out there for absolutely free. Right? The only thing that's behind a paywall is me teaching in my Discord. That's it. Like in Lathyrus, that's all. I try and provide as much value as I can for free. I don't believe that most things should be behind a paywall. There's just some things that are just my time, right? That's it. Please drop a discount code if possible. I believe that the code 20K is active, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. I had 20,000 followers on Twitter recently achieved, so I had a code for that. I'm not entirely sure if it's still active, but you can try it. Jay created that code. So, yeah. Can I check Bitcoin? I don't really trade Bitcoin. I'm not really doing like an analysis stream. I'm looking to more so take a trade. So perhaps after I engage the market today, I can, and I can tell you if there's anything interesting. Can I elaborate on how triggers work in resyncing? I'm actually going to post a YouTube video on this on the weekend, so I'll actually let that YouTube video do the heavy lifting. If you still have questions after, you can ask me. There's a couple YouTube videos I have planned for you guys actually. I'm just creating the content for them right now, like the slides and stuff, so they'll be really good. There's a lot coming on my YouTube as well. I'm not in anything yet, nope. I am waiting for some sort of resynchronization of the assets, yes. You think Forex is still okay to trade? Absolutely. I have many students who trade Forex. What's up, Afyz? You're dropping good content. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, there's lots more coming. Is there an algorithm too for resync? Yes, there's about 3 that I use. One of them is a strength switch PSP. I will share them all in time. Why do people choose to trade indices? Indices are my bread and butter, man. Yeah. Indices are where I've made all my money. That's why. Leak the algo 2 and 3. I leak way too much too often. I don't get keep anything, don't worry. Everything I know I've taught. Do I care about the H4 wick size? Of course, I'm always considering the size of a wick. This wick here supports expansion. This is a consolidation, and this could be a manipulation. I'm just waiting for some direction. Yeah, I might actually do some student interviews. I was actually thinking of doing that. I have a student recently who I've been working with for 6 months. He hasn't traded before then, and he's about to take out $40,000 from Apex. So once he takes that payout, and I can, show that to you guys, I'll probably do an interview with him. He never saw, he never saw a candlestick before 6 months ago, which is pretty cool in my opinion. And then you guys also know guys like Yusuf and stuff, like Dom. You guys know these guys, right? You know the names. Yes, I'm actually trading CRT. You cracked the code. All the information about Lathyrus, guys, is on my website. Is on like lathyrustrade.com. You can probably see it in it's the link in the description below. I'm gonna be doing a full video on SMT breaks and asset sync. This looks very interesting to me, guys. Right, this manipulation, lower. Into the 10 a.m. open, right? So this does support the idea of expansion higher. I like to see how this asset closes in relation to its low now, while this asset obviously expands. This is quite interesting for me on NASDAQ, with this previous day high being the draw, and on YM as well. You can see assets are starting to resynchronize here. Do you prefer all assets to PDL? I actually am no longer framing bearish price action. I'm actually looking to see if NASDAQ wants to reach into these highs. That is my perspective. I'm just gonna grab some more water, guys. I'll be right back. And we definitely might see YM gain some strength. Just patience for me, guys, on a day like today. I'm not in any rush to enter the market ever, right? I want to see how this 4-hour candle closes, but I'm also interested in the idea of this previous day low on YM, just because there's failure swings here, right? You can see this failure swing. And I can see ES has left equal highs here. So we have SMT obviously forming here, right? Not the raised pinky when I'm drinking. Shit. I didn't peep that, my bad. I am drinking water out of a wine glass, so that tells you something. Bro, you bearable. Bro, I don't know yet. I'm leaning bearish on YM, that's for sure. Gibsig. How do you stay calm? I just know what I'm looking for, guys. I'm probably going to short YM soon enough, in due time. Yeah, I'm probably going to short YM to the previous day low. Yeah, long yen Q also doesn't look terrible. I'm more predisposed to these low resistance lows. Yeah, I have a bearish perspective. We are actually, we will have a resynchronization potentially. It's not a terrible short here on the YM. I think I missed my fill, just yapping, but I like the YM idea for sure. Might just wait for that trigger and then look to long Nasdaq, but YM shorts look good. YM shorts look good and Nasdaq longs look good here. It's really going to come down to this 30-minute close. See, the idea I'm framing here is that this low will be a resynchronization trigger. This will be a manipulation trigger of the market, but I can trade towards that. Again, I wouldn't want to trade away from these failure swings. My volume is low. Sorry, I might just be talking quietly too. You can see my time frame right here. It's on my chart. The middle asset will show you the time frame always. I just don't like to have them plastered everywhere. might take this YM sell, guys. I want to see how this obviously the next 10 a.m. candle opens, but I'm framing a YM sell, maybe for NASDAQ to trade to these highs as well. Yeah. It also could just deliver the low right now, and then we can get that resync higher. Both are decent options for me. I'd like to see ES run these equal highs out first as well. Is the volume off? Can you still hear me or no? Or am I just speaking quieter? I think the volume is still on. I might just be speaking quieter, guys. Sorry. Trevor, volume? Yeah. The volume is dead. Maybe just turn up your volume if I'm speaking quiet. Yeah. It's good? Okay. My mic changed. Did it? I hope not. I'm going to turn up my volume settings a little bit. Maybe that helps. I'm not entirely sure, but hopefully that helps. My mic is like all the way maxed out now. I will speak directly into it. My accent changed. Do I have an accent? I wasn't aware I had an accent. Why is my ethnicity of concern to you? Yeah, I just increased my output on OBS. Chat, y'all need to lock in, bro. Y'all need to lock in. What are we talking about here? You sound Irish now? Oh, that's crazy. Yes, people. Yes, people see my entries on Discord as well. Yes. Bro got the GT4 RS owner accent. That's right. It comes with the car. You're right. You develop it after. Yeah, NASDAQ to previous day high here seems pretty likely. I mean, I don't want to trade away from these failure swings. We're really decoupled here. My heritage is actually East African. I'm sure I have some Indian heritage as well. And I have probably some diverse heritage. Yeah. I am a Smiley, actually, yeah. It's quite a Smiley name, actually. Good observation. Alright, guys. My heritage is less relevant right now. I think I need to buy a monitor. Maybe I'm just speaking quietly, guys. It is early and my dog is sleeping. So that also is. That's also definitely interesting. Well, that's probably a reason why I'm being quieter, to be fair. Okay. Yeah, this is quite interesting. I'm predisposed to taking this to sell side on YM just because I see really great failure swings in close proximity, but the logic exists for NASDAQ longs as well. Because we open high, I'm more bearish. Too. So ES taking out these equal highs. I'm more bearish now for 10 a.m. distributing to YM's lows because we open high. All right, so we have a run of the previous 4-hour high, obviously, here. This could be a potential algorithm one for me. Right. I want to see if NASDAQ just wants to expand into this high. Right. But again, there's nothing in here for me to trade at the moment, guys. It's a good lesson in just sitting on your hands. At least for my model, nothing has presented itself. I wouldn't short YM here. No, not yet. Not yet. This looks incredibly bullish, right? I think we might be reaching into this to manipulate, but my model always presents itself. It's a coin flip. This guy just won comment of the day. Just fuck it, just send it. It's a coin flip. I will need to see NASDAQ become weaker after previous day high to consider shorts even. Right? It'll have to happen. I'll have to see that strength switch. Yeah, I do teach live over price action in my Discord. Yeah, we do streams like this every single day. This is kind of the norm. I longed NQ 8 times, study. This guy knows something I don't. Teach me. We do have a T-stage on the daily. I can see that, yeah. We have SMTs forming on both sides of this market. We're consolidating. The daily range is a consolidation, right? I don't mind the idea of taking YM as the strength switching asset here. Look, we should be able to, we'll probably see NASDAQ form a fair value gap that'll retrace into while YM expands higher here. This is clearly not going to lows. I'm interested to see if I can maybe position myself in YM. Just more range to capture. Break the SMT. I have not taken a trade today yet, my friend. Long nor short. I need to see an opposing run after this. I don't know if you've heard of the Primo model, but it'll definitely make you a better trader. He's on to something. I can't figure out what it is, but he's on to something. I mean, NASDAQ to this high looks very good. Just not liking leaving the lows. We have this two-stage PSP at the lows, right? You guys can clearly see that, right? So how did you manage to not take a trade out of impulse today? I just don't feel the need to trade impulsively ever, dude. Very rarely. I know my edge hasn't presented itself. I know exactly what I'm looking for, guys, right? Like some days you'll see me take multiple trades if I know what I'm looking for and I can get around that. Other days you'll see me take no trades. This is like, it's being a professional, right? You have to treat trading like a professional. I don't feel that FOMO these days as much, guys. Just as a trader, I'm largely over it. Cause I know I know I can make money in the market with my specific model when it presents itself, right? I know that. I do that every day. So it gives me conviction in what I'm doing, for sure. How long after you became confident in trading? It took me a while, to be honest. I had to really understand what I was like doing. I needed to build edge in the market, right? Like I said. Once I did that, I became much more confident in my entries, my exits, my invalidations, everything. I'm probably going to be looking to long YM, guys. But not yet. Yeah, like some days you're going to see the market move a lot and you're just not going to get anything out of that. And I'm not going to be the person who forces a trade, right, without seeing my specific model present. The long logic on YM is the formation of this two-stage PSP in the 4 hour, like this. So I can trade this candle in here. I just need to see a new fractal of interest. So far there is no fractals offered in the market. Okay, so I need to see a new fractal. I'm using my own model, the model I've been trading for 3 years. Yeah, I've called it the Primo model. It's largely based on the market maker model's universal model and swing point formations. How did you build your edge? I spent a lot of time working on these markets, studying the markets. And then once I found something that gave me real expectancy, I just traded that. I have not taken any trades yet, no. Yeah, I trade C2s, guys. Like my model is around C2s, reversal candles. My biggest payout, like one-time payout, was upwards of $50,000 in one payout. I aim for more base hits with prop firms, 20 to 40K a month. I spend more time studying than sleeping. All the information about Lathyrus is on our website. You can just like look into the website, look into the WAP if you're interested. Yeah, there's really been nothing for me to get involved in so far, guys. I like the idea of YM longs, though, for sure. But nothing has presented itself for me just yet. Do I have any idea why we ripped on Nasdaq? We're quite bullish on this market after this SMT, right? You can see this SMT forms here. Quite bullish on this market. It's not respecting the bearish order flow. Again, the daily chart's in a consolidation, guys, right? The daily chart is clearly consolidating here. So these large moves, leaving failure swings on both sides of the market, is exactly how consolidating markets function. That's exactly what consolidating markets do. They leave failure swings, right? I don't believe there was news at 10. No, I don't think there was. Again, guys, like this in here is just, for me, it's just low probability for my model. Like, I haven't had anything to get involved with yet. Doesn't mean that the price action is messy. The price action is fairly clean on Nasdaq. You can see we're respecting imbalances and opposing runs, right? It's pretty clean. But there's nothing for me to get involved in yet. Yeah, it's as simple as that. You can see there's no great candle 2 formations that I want to trade here besides this. And this opens with no wick. If this opened with a wick, I would have very much been inclined to take YM. But we just don't have any manipulation below the open. So I'm not inclined to take a trade. My trade frequency per week is about 3 to 4 trades a week. We have a 2-stage PSP right here. I have it marked out. This is the resynchronization trigger. We have a 2-stage PSP on the 4-hour chart. You can see that, right? Divergence. So the SMT here confirms the PSP. Right? SMT confirms the PSP. Again, there's nothing for my edge yet. A precision swing point is a PSP. Jay has a video on his YouTube. We have a couple videos in our course in Lathyrus on it. Yeah. I trade a reversal, so the wick of the PSP is important for me. I can mark out the entire candle, but this range is less important to me. You can see where the divergence forms. It's at the wick of this PSP. You've been in Lathyrus for 2 weeks. You caught longs and passed. Nice, man. Fantastic. Well done. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna force a trade, guys. If you've seen me trade before, you know that to be true. I'm not gonna force trades. I don't do that. All the trades you see me post are trades I take, but I'm patient with them. I wait for my setup and then I put on my risk. The 90-minute fractal long. I mean, we have the SMT. It's fine. Like, I have no problem engaging this market long. The only issue is I wanted to see 10 open up with some sort of manipulation. Because of that, I don't want to long this candle. Right? This is the 10 a.m. open. I need to see like some manipulation below the open. let me actually mark out the 10 open on all the assets. Why not? This is why I'm standing out right now. Uh-oh. There we go. My model is on YouTube, yeah, and I teach it extensively inside of Lathyrus as well. Yes. Yeah, you can find mostly everything on my YouTube. The course on Lathyrus is just put together. Like, everything exists on the internet, but it's just put together and highly focused. That's all. We do. We have videos on everything, bro. We have videos on everything. Yeah. Yes, we have no wick. I am very likely, guys, going to trade YM long. If you're patient enough, you'll be able to see me take that entry. I mean, if you want to trade my model, I recommend watching my course in Lathyrus because it's put together. But you can find all the components of my model on YouTube, on Twitter. Right? Does Tristo bin undercover? Gee, that spam is crazy. You play Clash Royale? I don't. I used to play League of Legends if anyone played that game. Can you show the dashboard inside the community? Guys, all of the interesting things about Lathyrus can be found on our website, right? Like, check our website and check the WAP, right? That's like, this is where you're gonna get them. I don't need to, like, I'm not trying to sell you on anything, guys. Right? I obviously think there's a lot of value in being in there, and a lot of people would agree with that statement. We have mostly all 5-star reviews for a reason. So you got to make that decision for yourself. I know exactly where Tristan is, but I need you to stop spamming, bro. Okay. I'm gonna have to time you out. I'm gonna time you out, my friend. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for that. There's just too many messages all at once, my man. Isn't that Kawhi Leonard like meme? Like, you just can't ask a man that. I stream 3 days a week and Jay streams twice a week. Or he streams 3 days a week and I stream twice a week. Yeah, somebody joined Just Leave a 1-star review. I do remember that. Yep. You're gonna see that 1-star review if you click on the WAP. There was one 1-star review from one guy who did not like me. He joined just to give me that review. I respected it. I respected his hate for me, his hatred. He was not about it. What determines what time frame I enter? That's a really great question. It largely depends on the universal model I'm trading. If I'm the variation of the universal model, yeah. The chart color, got you, bro. There. This second one, 38% opacity. I don't know what this is called. This thing, FD606B. 100% opacity. Done leaking. There, it's in the video if you want to go back and see it. Yeah, I'm looking to take a long potentially on the YM. There are yawns and off-topic discussions during live sessions. Didn't need to call out Jay like that. Real. Yeah, if you want to know what Lathyrus means, you can. It's on our website. You can look it up too on the internet. Yeah, guys, again, some streams will be much more active. I'll take a trade quite early in the session. Today is not one of those days, bro. We're just chilling. The one thing about me is I'm a real trader, guys. Like, right? I'm not gonna just put some shit on because you guys are watching me. It doesn't make any sense for me to do that. I don't care to do that. Whether I have me alone trading in my room or me trading in front of my Discord or me trading in front of you, it's always gonna be the same thing I'm trading. We not with that furu shit. What's the main difference in my trading style compared to Garrett? I mean, Garrett learned daily profiling from me and incorporated that into his GXT model. And I learned some asset sync stuff from him, and I've incorporated that into my model. So we both learn from each other, clearly. But I just trade more reversals, to be honest. Yeah. I don't mechanically require candle closures for my model. That's a big difference. But I've also been trading like this for a long time, right? Yeah. No way, dude. GXT is the creator and arbiter of this model. Would you believe it if I said I've been trading profitably for years before Garrett? Would you believe it if I said that he used to learn from me? I don't care if you believe it. It doesn't matter, dude. Who gives a shit? Just make money and stay in your own lane, bro. Like, fuck. Only people, realistically, the comparison to everybody on social media only comes from people who are unprofitable. People who are profitable, we all learn from each other. I've learned from T and Kane and Garrett and AM and everybody, right? And I'm sure they've learned from me. I studied engineering and business. Where did I studied at engineering and business school here in Canada. Yes, we all trade very similar. The fractal model, the market make MXM universal model, the bread and butter model, all of these models are very similar, guys. Yes. They all stem from the universal model and the MXM trader. He was all of our first mentor. And he's the only guy I'll say is like my first mentor. Although he never really worked with me one-on-one, but I learned a lot from him. Yeah, of course I've seen TRL. We're friends, yes. I'm looking for YM longs, guys. Today will be our flat day. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? Today of all days, it's the only day I haven't traded in a while. From Kane, I learned how to properly apply like size. Kane taught me to be more trusting of my model, which I appreciate a lot. So T is not AI. He is not AI. So many traders say they study engineering. Maybe there's some correlation there. I don't know. I have a master's degree in engineering. And I have a master's degree in business, which is probably more maybe common for traders, but I have both. I worked in corporate for a while, guys. Like I was I was slaving out in corporate. I was in school for almost 7 years. I'm turning 26 soon, yeah. I started school when I was 17. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, yeah, 7 years. If we get a closure here on the YM, I'm going to take this. Okay, guys, I'm going to get long on YM a little bit early here. Okay. So I'm filled right here. And I'm targeting this high. I'm actually going to target a 3R, but I'm going to break even at this high, okay? Just anticipating this closure. I want to see that 15-minute PSP potentially be created, but I'll break down my entire logic after the trade. No, I don't need the candle closure. Like I told you, I don't require candle closures for my model, guys. This narrative for me is entirely one-sided. Just patience and waiting for enough. Right. My entire position is shown on the chart right now, guys. I don't show my broker. I'm just using this. Yep. Looking for this high to break even, and I'm looking for a static 3R. Is this a continuation PSP? You tell me. You're going to see this in a second here, so. See this large wick in here, right? If NASDAQ wants to come into this 10 a.m. open, think about it. If the next candle wants to do something like this, right, this will be the formation of the SMT. We've already rebalanced this wick. These overlapping wicks, we've already rebalanced this. So if we're going to expand, it's going to be from here on the YM. There's nowhere else that YM would form a low. So if I'm wrong about my logic, right? If I'm wrong about my logic, then we're going to create a new low on YM2. And then I'm getting in close to my invalidation. But this is the appropriate fractal for me to engage the market in. With that logic in mind, okay? I'm playing the leading asset here, potentially forming a new phase of price, while the lagging asset breaks the SMT. So this is SMT break logic. This is SMT break. And then, of course, here's the range high, right, all the way up here, but I'm only going to target a static 3R. I am taking this long from a failure swing. Yes, indeed I am. The SMT break logic, if we're going to trade higher on all assets than this SMT currently exists in the market on the YM, I'm expecting this asset to gain strength and break that SMT. I just have more range to cover on YM. There's not enough, again, if I took a similar entry on ES, right, there's less range for me to cover. And also, this wick is rebalanced and I have the SMT break level. I could be in the wrong asset, could be right, could be wrong, don't really know, guys. Right? The logic here is my logic. I get the strongest reversal signature here on the YM as well. I like this reversal signature. Okay. Hope you can understand that logic. And regardless of what happens, this is my trade I'm in now. So this is what I will tape read for the rest of the session with you guys. Right? I'll break even above this high though. Now, a question I know I will probably be asked is, why am I using the bodies here and not the wick, right? Why am I using the bodies and not the wick? Well, this candle is mostly body, not mostly wick. And if you go down a lower time frame, right, you can see we have these breakaway gaps in here that I want to see form. So a stop loss right down here is entirely sufficient at 895, right? If I'm wrong, it's just going to create a new low, guys. If I'm wrong, it's just going to smack my stop loss, and I'm going to be wrong about this idea. I'm getting it very close to my invalidation, right? guys want me to throw up something like this too? This could be helpful. If this is helpful, I'll also include this. This is just a risk to reward fib. There we go, looks like that, okay? Cool. Let's see what happens. But if you're wrong, my account is gone. Oh boy, I hope we lose. Just because you said that, I hope we lose. So you can come into Lathyrus and give me a 1-star review as well. I gave you the wrong sig. You guys are funny. Oh no, trading you, come on. There we go. I'm just gonna label this guys here as PDH. Previous daily high. This is the previous daily high as well. And this is the previous daily high. Cool, just so we can have that on our chart as a ray. My account's also gone if we lose. You guys are so troll. You guys are such trolls. We all full forwarded. You guys are such trolls. Y'all make me not want to do this shit, guys. Don't say that shit to me. I feel very one thing that's like was hard for me when I first started doing this was I felt very responsible for people's success and or their lack of success, and then I realized I'm like, bro, my students make a killing in this market. I can't be responsible for people doing stupid shit. Like, it used to eat me up, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. It used to really eat me up. I used to like feel very bad, and that's why I didn't love live streaming. But then I realized how much my students learn from it, and I'm like, you know what? There's always gonna be just some idiot, and I'm not responsible for that idiot. But it's hard, man. It's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy. I do care about you guys, despite what you might think. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not here to monetize you. I want you to succeed. I want you to succeed. My students are my best case studies. You know what I mean? When people ask me like, why should I join Lathyrus? I say, don't ask me, just ask my students. Because if I'm selling you, then I'm doing it wrong. If they're selling you, then we're the community that I'm trying to build is doing something right. That's the logic for me. I take a lot of pride in my students. I care about my students, and I care about everyone who learns from me because I feel responsibility in that way to provide the best education. I didn't have a lot of educators when I started, to be honest. I did a lot of this by myself. And because I did a lot of it by myself, I realized how hard it was. And I was fortunate enough to have really, really like thoughtful mentors in other areas of life. And I wanted to be that kind of same, emulate that in trading. It wasn't maybe trading mentors I had the most, but I had other mentors in other areas of my life. Do I have a one-on-one mentorship? I do, yeah. It's called the Summit Program, and you can find out more about it inside Lathyrus. The confluence for my entry is the rebalancing of the 15-minute wick low and the potential for a strength switch. Yeah, in fact, the guy I'm talking about who will post his payout in the next couple weeks or maybe a couple months. Well, you'll see. My brand new trader, essentially. He started working with me 6 months ago. He had never seen a chart before 6 months ago. He's also one of my good friends in real life. So yeah, I definitely work with beginner traders. Lots of my students are relatively new. It's a steep learning curve though, for sure. But you can find out more about all of that kind of information inside of Lathyrus. Right? You can find out more information about Lathyrus on the website. My chart colors, I already showed somewhere else in the stream, but I'll pull them up now. You can take a timestamp. It's this, 38%, and it's this, right, at 100%. So those are the chart colors. And you can find that timestamp. So let's see what happens, right? Let's see if we keep our stop loss in place or we come into our invalidation, right? Yeah, the RR is just a fib, dude. It's literally just a fib. And I just typed the words RR. Yeah. Right? The true invalidation is here, okay? This is going to be your true invalidation. I'm using a refined stop loss for this idea. I will be breaking even above this level here. At 11 a.m., guys, I'm going to be on a... So, here's an interesting update for you guys. You might not know this about me. I partnered with my first prop firm, and it's not the way you think it is. I'm not doing any affiliate codes. I'm not doing any of that shit. I'm doing live streaming with them. Because you guys know me, I hate affiliates, and I don't like the idea of selling your soul to prop firms to just like shove affiliates. But I'm going to be live trading with a prop firm, and I'm going to do that once or twice a week. And the link for it you can find will be here. So this is a prop firm which reached out to me, and I said the only thing I wanted to do was live stream. I don't want to really do much more than that. Of course, I have to do like a giveaway at some point in the stream, but they said I'm allowed to live stream and teach, and I said, cool, I'll do that. Because again, I want to build exposure for like my teaching platform on YouTube. I'm going to start being very active on YouTube. So I think this stream is going to be a really awesome opportunity for me to start. They're called Aqua Funded. And it was Matt Lober, Sniper, who set me up with them. Yeah, they're a smaller prop firm. I didn't really know about them either, but they said, yeah, you're allowed to teach, and you can use this platform in this streaming time for education. I'm like, I'm down. That's awesome. So that's what I'm going to be doing at 11 a.m. today. So if you guys want, we can hop over there after. He looked different in that picture. Yeah, that's me. A couple of years ago. I'm trying to build up more of a personal brand on YouTube for teaching, right? And then inside of Lathyrus as well. So I think it's a really good opportunity for me to, show some of my education. And that stream's going to be focused a lot on education, right? Aqua funded its ass to hug. Well, I don't know any of the prop firms, and I don't really care about their reputation in like the prop space. I care about the fact that they're bringing on me and they trust me to educate. And yeah. I mean, I have my opinions about all prop firms, by the way. You guys know this, but anyone who's allowing me to educate, I think it's a really solid move for them. I think it's really good for their credibility. The fact they're bringing on me to educate shows enough, because a lot of prop firms won't do that. They don't want real traders. They don't want people who actually understand how to trade teaching. They don't want that. So that was my condition, yeah. Yeah, I probably could have gotten a more mainstream prop firm. That's very, very true. But they were asking me to do things I didn't want to do. Like give out codes and meet conditions for affiliates and monetize the prop firm in a lot of ways. And I didn't want to do that. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to teach. Yeah, again, I didn't want to sacrifice my morals, guys. You guys know me. I don't really show anything. I've never given out a prop firm affiliate code in my life. Not once. I tell people to use my friends' codes. Not once. So yeah, like for me, it's literally just about education platform, guys. And I think it's cool that a prop firm is bringing on a real trader like me, because I don't see a lot of that in the prop firm space at all. I see a lot of really like shitty fake traders who shove affiliate codes, and I'm like, well, that's not cool. Right? That sucks. Like that actually is like pretty predatory, because these people make so much money off shoving affiliate codes. They don't know how to trade. I know how to trade. I know my students know how to trade. I know you guys will learn from watching me. I do 3 streams a week inside of Lathyrus. Jay does 2 streams a week inside of Lathyrus. But with my mentorship students, I do a Friday stream with them exclusively. Jay, who is Jay? You should follow him on socials. Jay is a phenomenal trader, and he's a really good educator as well. He's one of the only guys I've worked. I mean, you guys know me. I've ran my community alone for a long time, but Jay reached out to me, and he's a really solid track record in trading, and he's also really passionate about teaching. And I was like, well, that's a phenomenal fit for me. Name the shitty fake traders. You guys, I mean, again, it should be entirely obvious who's real in this space and who's not. I don't need to say too much more. Tristan is just taking care of some stuff in his personal life. It's people are making a big deal out of it, but it's just literally that. It's quite simple. Yeah, Jay and I obviously trade the same concepts. We trade a bit different, right? But he is just really passionate about education, like which I really wanted to see in someone I brought onto my team. Because again, it's an education platform that I want to build. You guys learn a lot from watching me do this every day. I know that. The feedback within Lathyrus is the way it is for a reason, and I didn't want to compromise on that either. Reveal my skincare, soap and water. Yeah, I'm just a dude. I don't have a crazy skincare routine. Yeah, I'll break down my whole long trade today, right after the stream, like I always do. I'll go on Twitter, I'll post a full recap, all that good stuff. Right, we can see in here, slow market, new phase of price in here. So the invalidation I have, if it doesn't hold, I'm gonna be wrong, but I'm anticipating my invalidation to hold. So I'm actually trading with the anticipation of a fractal forming, and you guys can see what I'm looking at here. You can see this PSP is potentially going to form. Okay, there is a logic to this. It's not a random stop loss and it's not a random entry. And I will hopefully be able to teach you guys this stuff in the coming days and weeks and months. Reveal gym routine, I need to get on it. That's the routine I need to get on, for sure. I wonder what trade Jay is in, actually. If someone from the community wants to let me know, that'd be cool. Is Jay in a position? Is this a one-time thing? No, it may be more frequently. I don't know, I'm just experimenting with it, to be honest. Like, you'll be able to find me on that Aqua stream, right? Need a friend who trades these concepts? Yeah, doing it with a friend is cool, for sure. Jay's in NASDAQ longs? Yeah, I like the idea of longs. I don't know if I'd long NASDAQ, but I like the idea of longs. I like the position I'm in. It's a slow-moving market, guys. Slow-moving market right now. Right, we had a large range, so I'm positioning myself in the reversal, and now we're seeing some consolidation, right? Yeah. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, like, just let me know. I'll definitely try and be more active on, like, man, sometimes it can be a grind, right? Being active on, like, socials, and then I also have students, right? And I also have Lathyrus, and it's a lot, but I love doing this stuff, to be honest. I have the best job in the world. You're not gonna find me complaining about being able to teach and educate. I really enjoy it. Yeah, more on YouTube? Absolutely. I will definitely try. Am I Muslim? I am indeed, yes. I don't incorporate too much faith in my trading, though. That's a very common theme in the trading world recently. I don't understand why, necessarily. I think it's a bit predatory. What country am I from? I was born in Canada, and my family was born in East Africa. My family was born in Kenya. My real name is Afyz. That is my real name, yeah. Afyz. It's not a fake one. I'm not gonna answer if other streamers are legit, guys. It really isn't. It's not hard to know. It's not hard to know if someone is legit or not. In my opinion, it's very easy. So, yeah, those conversations are less important to me. Obviously, I think you guys clearly. It doesn't take a genius to know. In my opinion, it doesn't take a genius. It's like very obvious stuff. Yeah, we're in a consolidated range here. I still like the position I'm in a lot, guys. Yeah. You're also in Kenya? Kenya's beautiful, dude. Pay the Afyz to join Lathyrus. Ah, I see what you did there. Name them, let's create some content. Yeah, I don't do that. Nope. Being problematic to get engagement is not my shtick. It never will be. It's not what you're gonna find. Yeah, the fib setting? Sure, dude. It's right here. You can timestamp this. I'll move my stop loss if I have a new invalidation for my trade, yeah. But unless I have a new invalidation, no, I won't. I've been trading for almost 5 years. 5 years, yeah. Long time. 2019, 2020 is when I started. Yeah, it's been a long journey for me in this in trading, and I've been teaching for around 2.5 years now. Been profitable for just over 3.5 years. I flip profitable probably shortly after ICT's 2022 mentorship. It's like maybe very end of 2022, beginning 2023, probably that. Yeah, so maybe 2 full years. I remember grinding out ICT though. Oh, was that hell? Boy, was that hell, guys. I watched every ICT. I've watched every single ICT lecture before this year. I haven't watched any of the new stuff, but I watched everything before then, yeah. I was sweating it out, yeah. I do trade ICT. I don't think I trade anything like ICT these days. I think I've really developed some interesting thesis about the market. If you guys see people use profiling in their trading, I was one of the first who talked about protraction profiles, delayed protraction, right? That's really advanced the space a lot. And like we now see 4-hour profiling. Almost every trader uses some degree of 4-hour, 6-hour, 1-hour profiling, right? That was something that was very interesting to my trading that I don't think ICT talked a lot about, to be honest. Yeah, but obviously, like I learned from somewhere. Yeah, if you're in the break-even stage, you probably just lack edge. You seriously probably just lack edge. Like again, some of my students who have been working with me for like 4 to 6 months are already out of that break-even stage because they spend 3 months specifically working on learning a system. It accelerates that timeline. I think break even, a lot of it is just you don't have a really great system. Sometimes it's psychological, don't get me wrong, it can be, but I think mostly it's a result of a poor system. That's my opinion and perspective from teaching a lot of people. So at 11 o'clock, so in about 5 minutes, guys, I'm going to switch over to the other stream, right, on the link I sent you. I'll put it here again. You guys can all just come with me and we'll go there, right? It makes sense to do that. I'm gonna have to start that stream up. Yeah, I'll be cool. I'll be there at 11. So we'll leave in about 5 minutes. We'll go there. I'll put the link in here right now. Again, it should be right here. You guys can pop in there and say what up. It's right here. I don't know if I can pin stuff. I have no idea. Oh, pin. Yeah, I just pinned it. So that's where I'll be in 5 minutes. This is like really slow moving right now. So we'll see what happens, right? What's core content? I use a lot of core content material, honestly. Right, so we're gonna see NASDAQ again. This is more of a positional entry, guys. I actually want to see NASDAQ reprice this low. I want to see NASDAQ reprice the open. Okay. I just want to see that invalidation on YM potentially hold. This is more of a positional entry. Right, you can see we have that run above the 30-minute high here, so it could reverse, and then I'm wrong. Like I have no problem with being wrong as well, guys. Don't get it twisted. This could just reverse right here, and we could go all the way lower. It's totally permissible to do that. Why am I trading away from failure swings? Because of the narrative of this 4-hour 2-stage PSP and the consolidation profile above this expansion and the SMT break potential. That's why. There's a logic to it, and I could just be wrong. Again, I'm literally right at break. I've been in this trade for how long? Like an hour, maybe, maybe 30 minutes, and I'm right at break even. But like my thesis hasn't changed. The logic is the same logic it was when I entered, right? What is a 2-stage PSP? You can learn about all the variations of PSP inside the course that I teach, or you can watch some of my YouTube recaps or watch some of my trade recaps, and you'll see me talk about them frequently. Yeah, all you have to do, dude, is type here. You know, it's going to give you an option to type. You can just type whatever you want. So 1R/R. Really easy. Yes, I can also frame both sides of the market. Yes, I can definitely frame both sides of the market. I'm choosing a directional bias. Yes, the course is the playlist of my model. Yes, you can learn about PSPs inside of Lathyrus. It's all out there, but Lathyrus just puts it in one spot for you. I'm an engineer, yes, I'm a chemical engineer. I have a master's in chemical engineering. I have multiple videos on SMT Zane. Yes, you don't have to spam me. I do, yes. Jeez, maybe. Modded. Yo, Jay, how's it going? You switch so many time frames. Yeah, I'm looking at the time frame that best fits my my narrative. I know, I do flip between time frames frequently. Took 2 L's today, -2R, GG. Good risk management. I am trading on a MacBook, yes. What made you learn trading after having a degree? I worked a corporate job. I worked in consulting. And then after I worked in consulting, I realized that I was much more passionate about trading, which I had been doing for a long time, just unprofitably. So I really, really committed to trying to learn more about trading while I was working. And yeah, I started to make much more money trading, and then the rest is kind of history, yeah. Afyz is probably the most cheerful trader I've ever seen. Yeah, life's too short to be upset, guys, all the time. You gotta have a little bit of fun with it. It can be lonely, it can be isolating, right? That's why I have community. That's why I have students. Because man, doing this shit alone is kind of sad sometimes. I remember I went through some pretty dark phases doing it alone at times. What do you advise on building an edge if you're in the break-even phase? Study your losers. Yeah, your winners take care of themselves. Study your losers. How do my parents react? My parents, I didn't tell my parents for a long time, to be honest. And then I eventually did tell them once I was making fairly good money trading. I knew they would probably have some hesitations about me trading before then. Yeah. It was very hard to trade with a full-time job. It was very, very difficult. Yeah, I got my dad into trading now, actually. My dad's in Lathyrus. My dad is actually Fatherus. I'll usually get off the charts at around 11. Like today, I'm going to do that education stream, and then I'll be off. You guys want to see Mango? Maybe you can see Mango right here. I can't. Let me see if he's on here. Yeah, buddy. I don't know what the delay is on my stream, honestly, as well, but you guys can see him. That's cute. He is the goodest of boys. The goodest of boys. Mango wrote the algo. Okay, I have to go pee, guys, and then I'm going to switch over to the other stream. So let's actually, let's do that. Let's switch over to that other stream. Just have to be there at 11, but I'm just going to be walking through this trade essentially, so we'll see what happens, okay? I'll see you guys there. Peace. If you guys want to join me there, if not, if you learned something today and you want to head off, absolutely do that as well. And you guys can see my trade on the chart here. So this is going to be what I'm tracking for the rest of the session. Okay? This was awesome, guys. Let's definitely do this again sometime. I had a great time. Okay, peace.